Flashback, the boys' struggle, ԻΤΑN IBI. The company retreat was held at a quiet beach resort in Lekki. Palm trees lined the shore, swaying lazily in the breeze. The sound of waves kissing the sand was almost hypnotic. After the board meeting, we were encouraged to take time off to rest, reflect, and bond. That afternoon, he asked me to sit with him under an almond tree. He had carried this story in his heart for years, and now, he said, it was time I had everything. He began slowly, like someone peeling layers off a painful memory. His father had died of typhoid when he was just 13. I can still remember, he said, voice low, the way they carried him out of the room that day. My mother screamed until her voice broke. They were left with nothing but a crumbling rented room in Beere and a few cooking pots. His mother began selling vegetables in the market, but her health started failing soon after. There were days they slept on empty stomachs, days they soaked Gary without sugar and called it dinner. When my friends talked about going to school, I pretended not to care, he said, plucking a blade of grass between his fingers. But inside, I was dying. I wanted to write WAC. I wanted a chance. He spoke about going from house to house, knocking on doors, begging for help. Some laughed, some ignored him, some told him to stop disturbing them. Each rejection felt like a stone added to his chest. The day I came to your gate, he said, turning to me, I had been turned away by 3 people already. My legs were weak. I told God, if this last person turns me away, I will stop trying. Then you opened your gate. I felt tears stain my eyes. I could almost see the boy he had been, thin, dusty, yet determined not to break. You know, he continued, that night after you gave me the money, I didn't sleep. I went to the mango tree near our house and prayed. I said, Oloron, ije iki ayami ribep me. God, let my mother live to see my breakthrough. He was silent for a moment, watching the waves. She didn't live to see it. She died just before my final exams. But I wrote WAC with tears in my eyes. I told myself, if I fail, I will have failed her memory. He passed with distinction, the best in his school. The state government noticed his result and awarded him a scholarship to study engineering. But it wasn't just the scholarship, he said. It was the fact that someone, a stranger, believed in me enough to sacrifice her last savings. It made me fight like a man who had been given a second life. He worked through university, tutoring students to earn extra money. When his shoes tore, he patched them. When hunger came, he endured. Because I thought, he said, smiling faintly, if I give up, that woman's sacrifice will be in vain. He spoke of nights spent under kerosene lamps, of walking long distances because he couldn't afford transport, of going without new clothes for years. But every time I wanted to quit, I saw your face in my mind. I saw that evening at your gate. The retreat ended with a gala dinner, but I could not stop thinking about his words. I realized that what I had given that day was not just money. It was hope. A lifeline. And that lifeline had pulled him into a future where he could now pull others along. In the following weeks, we began working together on a plan. He wanted to create a program that would support other boys and girls like him, children with dreams but no means. We will call it Aunty Teacher's Fund, he said, because you were my first investor. We started with 5 students, paying their WAC fees quietly, visiting their schools to encourage them. I spoke to the girls especially, telling them not to give up even when life seemed impossible. Many cried. Some knelt to thank us. One boy said, "Ma, I will make you proud. I promise." Every time I saw their faces, I remembered the dusty boy at my gate. And every time we sent another payment, I felt my own soul healing from the wounds of the past, the layoff, the hunger, the loneliness. It was as if God was saying, you see, I never forgot you. Soon, the program expanded. More donors joined, inspired by his story. The company made it an official corporate social responsibility project. We began hosting workshops on study skills, mentoring sessions, and career talks. The first time I saw one of our scholarship students score distinctions in all subjects, I wept. Olorandora. God is good. That of my life became more than survival. It became service. And every new life we touched reminded me that no act of kindness is ever wasted, it always circles back, multiplying itself like ripples on a quiet sea.